To Washington, Fraser Jackson, our correspondent there, joins us live. Good evening, Fraser. This is a bombshell moment. What's the word in Washington now about the possible impact this could have on President Donald J. Trump?
It is, but I think we need to temper some expectations here. Some of the more outlandish headlines that we've been seeing in the last couple of days, talking about Donald Trump knowing about the sexual abuse. It's believed that that email that is taken from is actually Donald Trump knowing about the fact that girls were being taken from the staff that were on Mar-a-Lago and being therefore employed by Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, the Democrats are arguing that that signals that he knew about the sexual abuse, but the kind of grey area comes because the Republicans are basically pushing back against that claim. So there is still some smoke here, but whether there is a fire is the question that everybody really is still asking. Now, for their part, the White House is pushing back on these allegations. They are saying that this is a fake narrative and a distraction technique from the government shutdown, which is in the process of being lifted at the moment. But Democrats say that they believe that this is another piece of evidence against Donald Trump and that he knew about what was going on with Jeffrey Epstein, the man who, of course, has been a convicted sex trafficker, and indeed his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, who is currently serving a 20-year term for her part in his crimes. So there is still a lot of wood on the fire, as it were, but whether this is the smoking gun that the Democrats are looking for, I don't think it's fully quite there yet.
Interesting, Fraser. No sympathy expressed for any of the victims in the White House comments. It was purely about basically justifying Trump's position and calling it a smear and trying to damage the Democrats. I'm wondering if there's any personal comment coming from Trump, presumably nothing on his social media.
So far, Donald Trump uncharacteristically quiet on these kind of things, and quite often when Donald Trump has a keen sense that something is going to be a significant story, he tends to lay low for a while. And indeed, all we've heard about it from him in the last couple of hours since this story broke is about some people that he's putting forward for various positions within his administration and the judiciary more widely. So there's been no official comment from Trump himself. However, we are likely to get that to change in a few hours when the press pool will be brought into a dinner that Donald Trump is holding here at the White House. Whether that's actually going to be set up in a way that the press will be able to launch questions at him and whether indeed he will reply is what we're all waiting for. But right now, all we have is the comment from the White House and Caroline Leavitt herself, but nothing directly from the president.
And this all originates from some email communication between Michael Wolff, the author of a book about the first Trump White House, and Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's erstwhile girlfriend and co-conspirator in sex trafficking and grooming of underage girls for his abuse. Is there any sense, Fraser, from what we've seen, what we've heard and what you're hearing there, that Donald Trump is any more involved in this than he might have admitted to have been?
Well, Donald Trump, of course, has rejected this many times over the course of the last few months and years, especially since this furore kind of re-kicked up again over the summer. He was constantly frustrated that these allegations and this story kept being brought up, but of course it has refused to go away, and it's been something that his base is still heavily involved in terms of their interest in this story. I think the key interesting point that we're hearing in the last couple of days is reporting from Politico that Ghislaine Maxwell, having had an interview with the Deputy Attorney General of the United States just months ago, Todd Blanche, a man who is Donald Trump's former lawyer. That in itself, that interview with Ghislaine Maxwell was unprecedented. And since then, there was reported from Politico that she's had preferential treatment in prison, and that one of the senior members of the prison there had said that to Politico that they were sick of being treated like Ghislaine Maxwell's bitch. That as she got to play with puppies and have other preferential treatment. And now we hear from that Politico report as well that she is trying to put forward some paperwork to Donald Trump to get her sentence commuted. So effectively asking for a pardoning from Donald Trump, especially after her Supreme Court case was rejected by the Supreme Court. It appears that Donald Trump now could be her only way out of jail.
Fraser Jackson in Washington.